this video is about. Odysseus navigates sea but storm hits. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. In the age when gods smiled upon mortals and wove their fates with threads of divine will, the sun rose over the churning waters of the Aegean Sea. Each wave shimmered like silver under the golden rays, but hidden beneath its surface slept the wrath of Poseidon, god of the sea, waiting for an unsuspecting soul to arouse his fury. Odysseus, son of Laertes and king of Ithaca, stood at the helm of his ship, the Nausicaa *, where the proud sails billowed like the wings of a great falcon. His heart pounded with a fervor that matched the rhythm of the waves crashing against the hull. Fresh from the Battle of Troy, he had only dreams of home and the embrace of Penelope to guide him. Yet, fate is a fickle mistress. The men, weary from their long voyage, shared stories of glory and defeat, the aromas of salted fish and baked bread wafting through the air, igniting memories both sweet and bitter. With every word, Odysseus felt the weight of his past, a tapestry rich with honor and shadows. "Gather round, my brothers," he called, his voice cutting through the murmurs. "Let us pledge to protect one another and stay true to our destiny. The gods favor the bold." As if in response, dark clouds gathered on the horizon, heavy and foreboding. The sun's light dimmed, replaced by a chill that seeped into the bones of the men. Odysseus squinted at the sky, sensing the shift in the very winds, whispers of a storm brewing. "Steady," he commanded, gripping the wheel with fierce determination, his instincts sharpening like the blade of his sword. But the sea had its own will, and as the sky turned ominous, a deafening roar erupted from the depths. Poseidon, angered by the audacity of mortals daring to traverse his domain, unleashed a tempest that made the very heavens tremble. Waves, monstrous and relentless, rose like giant hands ready to crush the ship into splinters. "Hold fast," shouted Telemachus, Odysseus's loyal son, now a young man hardened by trials. Their eyes met in a moment, a silent vow that bound them through blood and destiny. The winds howled, tearing at the sails, and the sky erupted in fury. Raindrops fell like arrows, striking flesh and wood alike. "Row, row," Odysseus bellowed, rallying his crew against the chaos. With every stroke, they fought against the onslaught, but the ship lurched violently, tossing men and gear into the unforgiving sea. To me, the storm was a living entity, howling with the voices of the damned, and Odysseus found himself grappling with the wheel, his knuckles white with strain. As the Nausicaa pitched and rolled, a monstrous form emerged from the depths, a leviathan that dwarfed even the legends. It was the Kraken, a titan born of Poseidon's deepest rage, eyes like burning coals and tentacles that writhed through the water as it sought the ship's destruction. The crew screamed, terror gripping their hearts, but Odysseus stood resolute. "Arm yourselves," he commanded, flicking his wrist to call forth his sword, its blade glinting in the chaos. "We are not mere sacrifices to this beast." He tore his gaze from the creature long enough to see men scrambling for weapons. The fear, palpable in the air, urged him to inspire them further. "Remember Troy, remember your brothers who fell in battle. We are forged from the same fire, fight." With a guttural roar, the Kraken struck, tentacles slamming down upon the deck, splintering wood and claiming lives. A sailor named Lysander was caught and lifted into the air, his cries swallowed by the storm. Odysseus felt his heart lurch in his chest. He could not let fear take root. Instead, with a fierce gleam in his eye, he leapt onto the rigging, calling upon Hermes, the fleet-footed messenger, to guide his aim. "We are not cattle for slaughter," he bellowed, thrusting his sword upward, channeling his anger into a single, decisive strike. The winds roared with approval as lightning pierced the sky, illuminating the monstrous figure before him. "By Athena's wisdom, I shall strike true," he cried, plunging his sword downward with a primal yell, aiming for one of the beast's luminous eyes. The blade found its mark, and the Kraken writhed in agony, its roar echoing across the seas, a lament of fury and pain. The men surged forward, emboldened by their king's bravery. They hurled spears and swung swords with newfound strength. The sea boiled with rage as the Kraken fought to reclaim its dominion, thrashing wildly, sending waves crashing over the deck, threatening to sweep them all into the depths. "The sea is our ally," Odysseus shouted, rallying his crew. "We fight together, not for the glory of gods but for our return home." The bond of brotherhood ignited within their hearts, and one by one they joined him, forming a wall of steel against the rage of the beast. Just then a flash of blinding light erupted from above, a surge of divine energy from Poseidon himself, a warning shot across the bow of mortal arrogance. "Beware, Odysseus," the voice of the sea echoed in his mind, a ripple of thunder. "The ocean holds both treasure and peril. Choose wisely." With the storm still howling, Odysseus felt the weight of his choices pressing down upon him. The Kraken, enraged, lashed out with its tentacles, crashing against the ship with bone-shaking force. "We can't fight it forever," he shouted, desperation creeping into his voice. "We must find a way to escape." "Look," shouted Telemachus, pointing toward the horizon. A faint glow shimmered through the storm, a vengeful beacon. "The Isle of Thalassia, we can reach it." Odysseus's heart raced. "To the oars, men, row with all your might." As they strained against the violent waves, the ship began to turn, the Kraken thrashing behind them, furious at their escape. Every man poured his strength into the oars, pulling against the tide that sought to swallow them whole. But Poseidon's wrath was relentless. The storm intensified, the winds screamed like banshees. Odysseus struggled to keep the ship steady, his thoughts racing. Could they truly outrun a creature born from the ocean's depths? Would the gods allow such defiance? The Nausicaa careened from wave to wave, water splashing over the deck as men fought valiantly against despair. Odysseus could feel the beast's breath on their heels, a ghostly chill that promised doom. "Hold together," he urged, his voice a mix of strength and desperation. "We are forged by trials. We will not be undone here." Time blurred as they battled against nature's fury, the ship a battered but fierce contender in the race against death. With one final push, they surged toward the glowing isle, crashing through the last barrier of waves, the Kraken's roar fading behind them. As they breached the shores of Thalassia, the storm began to subside, the clouds retracting like the wings of a defeated bird. But the silence that followed was filled with uncertainty, a haunting reminder of what they had narrowly escaped. Odysseus fell to his knees, the weight of their ordeal pressing upon him like the burden of fate itself. One by one, the crew collapsed around him, gasping for breath, their faces pale from the fight. "We live, my brothers," he shouted, though his voice trembled. "We have survived the wrath of the sea." Yet in the depths of his heart, Odysseus knew this was not the end. The gods would not allow such defiance without consequence. He gazed at the horizon, the last tendrils of lightning flickering in the distance. Fate, it seemed, had more in store for him. "Prepare to explore this isle," he commanded, rising to his feet, the fire of determination igniting once more in his chest. "We will not rest until we uncover the secrets this land holds. Honor demands we face whatever lies ahead." With the first light of dawn breaking across the horizon, the crew staggered to their feet, driven by the unyielding spirit of their king. The adventure was far from over, and the gods, watching from their celestial thrones, smiled and plotted, knowing that Odysseus had only just begun to navigate the storm of destiny that loomed before him. As dawn's first light painted the shores of Thalassia with hues of gold and crimson, Odysseus stood at the prow of the Nausicaa, the salty winds whispering secrets of the island. It was a land seemingly untouched by the gods, where vibrant flora thrived amidst a wild, untamed beauty. But Odysseus, ever the strategist, understood that beauty often belied danger. "Gather your strength, men," he declared, his voice firm yet carrying the tremor of their recent trials. "We are alive, but the gods will not let us rest for long. Today, we are explorers, but we must remain vigilant." The men, still catching their breath, exchanged weary glances, Telemachus, standing tall beside his father, felt the weight of the moment. "Father, what if the wrath of Poseidon follows us here? What if the Kraken returns?" The fear in his voice mirrored the dread in every heart that day. "The Kraken is not our only concern," Odysseus replied, his brow furrowed as he scanned the horizon. "This island breathes with ancient magic. We must tread carefully, for the whims of gods are seldom forgiving." As they disembarked onto the soft sandy beach, a sense of unease settled over the crew. The air was thick with mystery, the rustling leaves beneath towering trees whispering tales of forgotten heroes and mythical beasts. Odysseus drew in a deep breath, the scent of adventure filling his lungs, but also the faintest hint of foreboding. With a firm grip on his sword, he led his men into the dense underbrush. The sunlight barely penetrated the canopy above, creating an ethereal glow that danced around them. As they ventured deeper, the sounds of the world faded, replaced by the eerie silence of the unknown. Suddenly, from the shadows emerged a creature, unlike anything they had ever encountered. A harpy, her wings vast and formidable, her eyes gleaming with mischief. "You tread upon sacred ground, mortals," she screeched, her voice a blend of honey and venom. "What brings you to Thalassia, the realm of forgotten gods?" Odysseus stepped forward, his heart quickening. "We seek no quarrel, Harpy. We are survivors seeking only the way home." He kept his sword sheathed but ready, attempting to exude calm amidst the storm of emotions swirling around him. "Survivors, you say? Then you shall prove your worth," the harpy cackled, her laughter echoing like distant thunder. "The gods demand trials for those who dare to intrude. Are you prepared to face what lies ahead? Whatever the gods lay before us, we will confront it together," Odysseus vowed, his eyes fierce with determination. "We are men forged by battle and bound by honor. We do not shy from challenges." With a flap of her powerful wings, the harpy ascended, casting a shadow over the group. "Very well, Odysseus of Ithaca. Your first trial lies ahead, beyond the great oak where the river runs crimson. Face it and prove your mettle, or face the wrath of those who dwell in darkness." With that, she vanished into the depths of the trees, leaving the men in a stunned silence. The ominous words echoed in their minds, a reminder of the trials yet to come. Telemachus, stepping closer to his father, whispered, "What do you think awaits us, father?" Odysseus furrowed his brow, feeling the weight of prophecy heavy upon him. "I know not, my son, but we must remain united. Remember, honor binds us, and together we shall prevail." As they navigated towards the great oak, the atmosphere grew charged with anticipation. Ghostly wails echoed through the trees, filling the air with a palpable dread. Odysseus gripped his sword tighter, ready to face whatever horrors lay ahead. Upon reaching the ancient tree, they beheld a sight both gruesome and magnificent. The river at its roots flowed like blood, glistening and vibrant. The waters shimmered with an ethereal light, pulsating as if alive. "What is this place?" one crewman murmured, awestruck. Odysseus approached the river, peering into its depths. "This river is a test, a reflection of our choices and sacrifices. We must draw forth our darkest fears and face them." The moment he spoke, shadows emerged from the depths, swirling into forms that haunted the hearts of each man. Memories of fallen comrades, moments of regret, and choices made in the heat of battle morphed into grotesque specters. They twisted and writhed, reaching for the living, their cries echoing like lost souls. "Face them," Odysseus shouted, steeling himself against the specter that took the form of his long-lost friend Agamemnon. "Do not let fear consume you." Telemachus, too, found his own specter, a twisted version of his mother Penelope, mourning his absence. "Mother, I will return," he shouted, his voice breaking as he fought against the pull of despair. "I will find my way back to you." Each man battled his demons, wielding courage like a blade against the tide of anguish. Odysseus found himself locked in combat with Agamemnon's shade, the familiar face twisted in pain and betrayal. "Why did you abandon us, Odysseus?" the specter demanded, its voice a simmering rage. "I did not abandon you, Odysseus cried, slashing with his sword. "We fought together. I carry your memory as a shield against the darkness." With every word, he drove the specter back, the shadows dissipating into mist, ceding to the light of dawn that began to break through the treetops. The men rallied around Odysseus, their fears waning as they fought together, driving back the darkness. As the last specter faded, the river's crimson glow transformed, the waters settling into a clear, tranquil stream. "We have faced our fears and overcome," Odysseus declared, his heart swelling with pride for his men. "Let this be a testament to our strength." Yet before they could celebrate, the ground trembled beneath them, and a great roar shattered the silence. From the shadows emerged a beast of legend, a chimera, with the body of a lion, the head of a goat, and a serpent for a tail. Its eyes blazed with fury, and flames flickered from its jaws. "Fools," it bellowed, its voice a thunderclap. "You dare trespass upon my domain. Prepare to meet your doom." The men instinctively formed a circle, weapons drawn, hearts pounding as the creature advanced. "Stay together," Odysseus shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. "Do not let fear take hold." Telemachus stood at his father's side, fear and determination mingling in his chest. "What is our plan, father?" he asked, eyes locked on the approaching beast. "We will outsmart it," Odysseus replied, his mind racing. "Telemachus, you and I will draw its focus. The rest of you aim for its weak points. Strike true." As the chimera lunged, claws outstretched, Odysseus and Telemachus darted to the side, avoiding the deadly swipe. The crew launched their spears, each aimed at the creature's vulnerable spots. One struck true, lodging itself in the lion's shoulder. The beast roared in pain, turning its fiery gaze toward the crew. "You will pay for that," it snarled, unleashing a torrent of flames. Odysseus and his men leapt aside, narrowly avoiding the scorching blast. "Keep your distance," Odysseus shouted, rallying his men. "We must tire it out. Its strength is its ferocity, but it cannot endure forever." Using their agility, they continued to evade the chimera's deadly breath, striking when the opportunity arose. The creature snarled, frustration boiling over as it realized these mortals would not fall easily. "Enough of this," the chimera roared, launching itself into the air. "I will crush you beneath my weight." Odysseus, eyes sharp, saw his opening. "Telemachus now," he called, signaling as the creature descended. With a swift motion, he hurled a spear toward the creature's exposed belly, the weapon finding its mark. The beast let out an agonized roar, crashing to the ground with a thunderous thud that shook the earth beneath them. Seizing their chance, the men charged forward, a wave of fury and honor. With a final, unified strike, they pierced the chimera's heart, and the creature's roar faded into silence. The men stood together, panting, covered in sweat and grime, but victorious. "We have conquered a beast of legend," Odysseus shouted, raising his sword high, his men echoing the cry. "Let this day be remembered in the halls of heroes." But as the echoes of their victory faded, a shadow fell over them once more. From the depths of the forest, the harpy reappeared, her eyes glimmering with a mix of respect and malice. "You have proven your worth, Odysseus. But do not forget, there are trials yet to come. The gods are not done with you." In their eyes, the flames of victory can quickly turn to ashes. Her voice sliced through the air, carrying an ominous weight that pressed upon their spirits. Odysseus, still catching his breath from the battle, felt a chill creep down his spine. What more could lie ahead, Harpy? We have faced the darkness and emerged victorious. Surely, the gods would honor our courage. Honor? The Harpy cackled, her laughter echoing like the rustling of dead leaves. Honor means little to the whims of the divine. You have slain a creature birthed from chaos, but know this: the gods demand a price for every victory, and yours is yet to be paid. She flapped her wings, sending a gust of wind that scattered leaves around them. Seek the temple of the forgotten where the river flows golden. There you shall find what you seek, or what seeks to ensnare you. Before Odysseus could respond, the Harpy vanished into the treetops, leaving the men in uneasy silence, the shadow of her words lingering like a storm cloud. Telemachus stepped closer to his father, his face a mix of determination and fear. "What do we do now, father?" Odysseus looked toward the setting sun, casting long shadows across the land. "We march forward. We have faced monsters and we shall face more. Whatever the gods have in store, we will meet it head-on." With renewed resolve, Odysseus led his men deeper into the forest, guided by the whispers of ancient trees and the faint trickle of water. They walked in silence, each man lost in thought, haunted by the specters they had battled and the harpy's ominous warning. As twilight descended, shadows stretched and danced around them like phantoms, and the air thickened with an unsettling tension. The soft murmur of the river flowed in the distance, a beckoning call. "We are close," Odysseus said, his heart quickening. "Stay vigilant." The dense underbrush cleared, revealing a clearing bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. Before them lay the Temple of the Forgotten, a structure both magnificent and foreboding, its stone facade adorned with intricate carvings of celestial battles. Vines clung to the pillars, and the sacred river flowed beside it, shimmering like liquid gold beneath the moon. "By the gods," one crewman whispered, staring wide-eyed at the spectacle. "It's beautiful and terrible all at once." "Beauty masks danger," Odysseus cautioned, stepping forward. "We must tread carefully. Whatever dwells within may not welcome us." They approached the temple, the water whispering secrets as they crossed over stones damp with age. As they entered, an eerily serene silence enveloped them, echoing the weight of anticipation in their hearts. The interior was illuminated by the glow of the golden river flowing through the temple's center, and the air was thick with enchantment. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, a woman draped in ethereal white, her golden hair cascading like sunlight. She was a goddess, her presence radiating power and wisdom. "Welcome, Odysseus, son of Laertes," she spoke, her voice a melodic whisper that resonated through the chamber. "I am Calypso, keeper of these waters." Odysseus, awestruck yet cautious, bowed his head. "Great Calypso, we seek your guidance. We have faced many trials, and the harpy spoke of a price for our victory." Her eyes sparkled like emeralds, and she studied them closely. "You have shown bravery, but bravery alone cannot shield you from the gods' wrath. There is a test before you, a choice that will shape your fate and that of your crew. Will you heed the call, or turn back into the shadows of your past?" Telemachus stepped forth, the fire of youth igniting within him. "We will not turn back. We have faced death itself. Whatever lies ahead, we shall confront it together." Calypso smiled softly, the warmth of her gaze infusing life into the chamber. "Very well. You will drink from the river of fate. Only those who embrace both joy and sorrow may pass. But beware, the river reveals not only your desires but your deepest fears." Odysseus nodded resolutely, understanding the weight of the choice before them. "We accept your challenge, goddess. We will drink and face what comes." "Then approach," Calypso beckoned, gesturing toward the golden water. "Each of you must take a sip and reveal your truth." One by one, the crew stepped forward, their hearts pounding. Each took the sacred water, their eyes glazing over as visions flickered before them. Moments of triumph, bitter losses, and choices that echoed through the corridors of time. Telemachus was the last to sip, his eyes widening as he faced a vision of his mother, Penelope, gazing longingly into the distance, waiting for her son's return. The image flickered, revealing shadows of despair that threatened to consume her. "I will return, mother," he shouted, his voice ringing with determination, pulling himself from the vision. As the last sigh of silence faded, Odysseus gathered his men. "What have you seen?" he asked, the urgency of their quest pressing upon him. "The faces of our past," one sailor said, trembling. "We are haunted by our choices, the ones we lost, the ones we left behind." Odysseus nodded, feeling the weight of their shared burdens. "These visions reveal our hearts, but they do not define us. We are more than our fears. We are the sum of our journeys." Calypso's presence shifted, the air thickening with tension. "Your souls are tested. To pass, you must confront your truths together. Only then can you claim the prize hidden within the temple." Together, Odysseus affirmed, his voice steady. "We face whatever dwells within these walls." As they moved deeper into the temple, the atmosphere thickened with energy. The walls pulsed with ancient magic, whispering secrets of gods and heroes long forgotten. Odysseus led the way, his sword drawn, Telemachus beside him, ready to face whatever challenge awaited them. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, an apparition of a warrior, clad in shimmering armor, wielding a spear that glowed with an otherworldly light. "You dare enter this sacred space?" The phantom boomed, his eyes fierce with challenge. "Only the worthy may claim the prize." "Who are you?" Odysseus demanded, his heart racing as he prepared for battle. "I am Ares, god of war and vengeance," the figure declared, raising his spear. "To prove your worth, you must defeat me in combat. Surrender now, and your destinies shall be sealed in darkness." Odysseus's heart thundered in his chest. "We will not yield." He charged forward, his sword clashing against Ares' spear, igniting a tempest of clashing steel. The fight raged, an explosive dance of strength and skill. Odysseus felt the weight of every battle he had fought, every sacrifice fueling his strikes. Telemachus joined him, the bond between father and son shining like a beacon in the chaos. The clash of their weapons echoed through the temple, each strike resonating with the stories of their past. But Ares was relentless, a whirlwind of fury and power. "You think you can challenge a god?" he taunted, pushing them back. "Together, we are greater than any foe." Odysseus shouted, and with a fierce battle cry, he and Telemachus struck as one, their blades intertwining in a beautiful, deadly dance. With a final, united thrust, they pierced the heart of the phantom warrior, energy exploding around them as Ares fell, dissipating into a cloud of shimmering light. The weight of victory hung heavy in the air, and the temple shuddered as if acknowledging their triumph. "Now you may claim your prize," Calypso's voice echoed from the shadows, the golden river flowing brighter than ever. Odysseus stepped forward, heart pounding with anticipation. As he approached the river, golden light coalesced into a shimmering orb, revealing the path home, a map of constellations and sacred routes. "This will guide us back to Ithaca," he breathed, awe-filling his voice. But in that moment, a rift tore open above them, a dark vortex swirling ominously. "You have defied the gods, Odysseus," thundered a voice cold and unforgiving. "Your defiance will not go unpunished." The tempest unleashed a storm of shadows that twisted and writhed like living nightmares. "Stand firm," Odysseus shouted, gripping his sword, resolve igniting in his chest. "We will not cower before darkness." The crew gathered around him, swords drawn, hearts intertwined in bravery. Together, they shouted, uniting against the onslaught, channeling their fears into a singular force of defiance. As darkness swallowed the light, they fought as one, striking against the tempest, refusing to yield. And in that sacred temple, amidst the chaos and the cosmic dance of fate, Odysseus grasped the map tightly, the promise of home and honor blazing. As the rift in the temple's ceiling roared to life, swirling with shadows that writhed like vipers, Odysseus knew they were no longer fighting mere illusions of the past. They were battling the very wrath of the gods. The once sacred space pulsed with a malevolence that threatened to engulf them whole. "Steady yourselves," Odysseus shouted, grounding himself against the confusion and fear gripping his crew. "We have conquered monsters and faced the depths of despair. This darkness will not claim us." His voice, fierce and unwavering, cut through the chaos, igniting a spark of courage within his men. Yet as the shadows coalesced into monstrous shapes, twisted and malicious, Odysseus's resolve was tested. The first specter lunged, a grotesque figure reminiscent of their fallen comrades, eyes hollow and mouths twisted into silent screams. "You abandoned us, Odysseus." It wailed, its voice distorted, echoing like a haunting melody. "Silence," Odysseus roared, drawing his sword with a decisive flick of his wrist. "You are not my past, you are but a whisper of my fears." With a powerful swing, he cleaved through the shadow, the specter dissipating into a cloud of darkness that vanished into the ether. "Father, look out," Telemachus cried, pushing Odysseus aside just as another specter lunged for him. The young warrior held his ground, sword raised high, deflecting the blow. "They're trying to break us apart. Stay together," Odysseus shouted, his heart racing as he saw more specters emerging from the rift, an army of anguish seeking retribution for their past choices. "Fight as one. Honor binds us." The crew rallied around their king, their swords raised in solidarity as they formed a protective circle, their combined strength a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. "We face our fears, and we will not falter," Odysseus urged, his voice echoing with the weight of their shared history. With renewed resolve, they clashed against the phantoms that surged forward, blades of steel meeting shadows like thunderclaps in the night. Each strike rang true, every man fighting not just for survival, but for the memory of those lost, for the love that awaited them back home. Telemachus fought fiercely, his heart echoing with his mother's faith. "I will return to you, mother," he shouted amid the chaos, each word a promise forged in the fires of battle. He struck down a specter that had taken the form of Penelope, the silent tears of despair vanishing as he banished the creature back to the abyss. "Remember the trials we have faced," Odysseus called out, cutting through the encroaching shadows. "Remember the strength of brotherhood. We are forged from the fires of war, and we will not be undone by the past." With each fallen specter, the rift began to tremble, the shadows shrinking as the light of their unity surged brighter. Yet, the tempest howled, growing more furious, the winds whipping through the temple like an angry banshee. "Your defiance will be your downfall," thundered the voice from the rift, a deafening roar that echoed with the fury of the gods. "You dare challenge fate itself." The shadows coalesced again, forming a towering figure, a beast and deity intertwined, a creature that bore the countenance of Ares, yet twisted and corrupted by rage. "I am vengeance incarnate," it roared, eyes blazing with divine fury as it advanced upon them. "You shall pay for your insolence." The crew braced themselves, swords raised in defiance against the god of war corrupted by darkness. "We do not fear you," Odysseus shouted, stepping forward, his heart pounding with resolve. "We are warriors. We have fought for our lives, for love, and for honor." With a thunderous bellow, the shadowy Ares lunged, the ground shaking beneath its weight. Odysseus met the charge, sword gleaming in the dim light, dodging to the side just as the creature's clawed hand swooped down, sending splinters flying. "Telemachus, with me," Odysseus commanded, eyes locking on his son. Together they surged forward, a force of nature striking as one. The blade of Odysseus' sword found the creature's shoulder while Telemachus struck true at its flank, their movements harmonized like an orchestra of battle. But the shadow Ares retaliated, its form shifting, becoming serpentine, and the air crackled with energy as it unleashed a torrent of energy. Flames surged forth, engulfing the temple in an inferno of chaos. "You think you can challenge a god? I will burn your hope to ashes." Odysseus felt the heat ripple past him, the flames licking at his skin. "Protect each other," he shouted, throwing himself over Telemachus and a crewman, shielding them from the onslaught. "Stay close, we will not be separated." The flames roared, but the crew pressed on, swords clashing against the shadowy form, the heat of battle igniting their spirits. They fought not just against the creature, but against despair itself, their hearts intertwining in a fierce display of bravery. With every strike, the creature howled in rage, its form flickering as if caught between realms. "You are mere mortals. Your lives are but a fleeting moment in the cosmos," it bellowed, but the crew pressed closer, fear burning away at the edge of their resolve. "Your time is over," Odysseus shouted, rallying the men for a final charge. "Together, we will cast you back into the shadows." Telemachus raised his sword, eyes blazing with the fire of youth and determination. "For Ithaca, for my mother." With a nod from Odysseus, they surged forward, a united force against the darkness. In one resounding cry, they struck, steel piercing through shadow, light igniting where darkness once reigned. The creature roared an anguished cry, its form splintering and cracking as it began to fade, the echoes of despair retreating into the void. As the shadow Ares dissipated, the rift began to close, the swirling darkness unraveling into a cascade of silver light. "You have defied the gods, Odysseus," the voice echoed, but it was no longer filled with malice. It was tempered with respect. "You have proven that even in the face of darkness, the light of honor and brotherhood can prevail." Breathless and battered, the crew stood together, hearts pounding with adrenaline and triumph. "We have conquered against all odds," Odysseus declared, raising his sword high, the golden river behind him shimmering with ethereal light. "Let this day be remembered as a testament to our courage." One by one, the crew joined in, lifting their swords in unison. Their hearts sang with the victory of survival, the bonds of camaraderie forging a shield against despair. "For Ithaca, for Penelope," they cried, voices echoing through the temple as the light enveloped them. As the last remnants of the rift vanished, a gentle breeze swept through the temple, carrying whispers of the ancient gods. Raindrops of golden light fell upon them, filling the air with warmth and hope. "Your trials are not yet over," Calypso's voice resonated, soft and melodic, as she appeared once more in the shimmering light. "But you have proven your worth, Odysseus. The path home is now clear, but remember, the gods are ever watchful." "Thank you, great Calypso," Odysseus replied, bowing his head in gratitude. "We will carry the lessons of this trial in our hearts." "Then go, son of Laertes," she smiled, gesturing toward the golden river that now flowed freely through the temple. "Go forth and find your way home. The winds will guide you." As they stepped forward, the golden waters swirled, revealing a shimmering map of constellations and sacred routes leading back to Ithaca. Telemachus gripped his father's arm, eyes filled with determination. "We will return, father. I will not let anything come between us and our destiny." Odysseus nodded, pride swelling in his chest. "Together we shall navigate the storms of fate, my son. Together we are unstoppable." With hearts united, they stepped into the golden waters, knowing that their journey had only just begun. As the light enveloped them, the echoes of their trials washed away, replaced by the promise of home, honor, and the indomitable spirit of warriors who had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. Guided by the stars, the crew of the asterisk Nausicaa sailed forth into the night, ready to embrace whatever challenges awaited them on their path to Ithaca. The saga of Odysseus and his men continued, a legend woven into the fabric of time, a tale of perseverance, brotherhood, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness.